everyone, and welcome back to another night of Gulu Thursdays. We are here with all of the Gulu team. Say hello, everyone.
Hi there.
Hello.
How's it going today,
Hi.
guys?
Yes, so everyone, we are here with all of the Gulu team because we have some really interesting things that we want to mention to you about our 12 foundations. However, Mr. Jacob is going to be our MC for today, so go ahead and take it, Mr. Jacob.
Alrighty, let me share my screen here, guys. We'll get started. All right, so what we're here to do tonight is we are here to tell you about the 12 Foundations Educational Program. And what this program is, we believe it is an optimal solution for modern education. And what we mean by that, as you're going to learn more during this presentation, is that we believe we've designed a program that could be a great solution for some of the challenges and shortcomings of modern education. And we're going to be delving further into what exactly those shortcomings are. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with introductions. So I'd like to introduce our director, Karen Chan.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Let me introduce myself if you do not know me. I am the founder of Gulu Learning Academy back from 2010. We have been working with the city of Milpitas and the nearby community since then. So back from my background that I was major in education in multiple subject teaching from Fresno State University. So before that, I did practice from elementary school to a special need classroom. So I do get equipped. My heart is always going with a different age group. So I do not have a specific group, but I really found it with children's. So afterward, I did volunteers. I also involved in a mentoring program and being teaching assistant, and also went to China for some volunteering programs too. So in order to find my path for what I actually want to serve. And also for my background is I was born in Hong Kong and I was raised up in Hong Kong. So I do have a very strong Chinese heritage in Cantonese language. And then later on, I need to learn Mandarin, and I got, I do really into Chinese culture and the language itself because of the communication wise that we do able to understand each other more. So I do understand Asian culture as well as Western culture. I educated in the United States for college, and then later on, before I start Gulu, I was working at the nonprofit peace school in Mountain View. Where they put me into a floats because I really want to be working with different age group. So I'm floating from classroom to classroom and focus on Young Five program. And I got a lot of experience from there, and then start Guru with a group of really good friends that support me along the journey. And eventually now they are part of either their kids are in the program or they are still supporting the program in a different way. And branding out, then we have been building a Guru team, and now I have an amazing team working with me. And this is an amazing program because I put my daughter into the program here, and this is the 3rd years now. I feel very fortunate to able to offer to other community too. So it's not only like personal solution, but it's also able to offer to other family who might not able to do homeschooling and they are not satisfied with public school system, and probably private school is just too academic or different reasons. So this is a very great options for a parent to consider, and I hope you guys were able to get a lot of great information tonight. Thank you for joining and introducing my team to you, Mr. Jacob.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, so I am Jacob Hammers. I'm a teacher here at Gulu. I started out as, well, my degree is in history, my bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree in information science and technology. And I started out as a teacher in South Korea. I came back from there. I was a youth services children's librarian in Pasco County, Florida for 4 years. I was a lead teacher at Engineering for Kids, so that's where I kind of got a background in coding, things like that. And since then, I've been teaching here at Gulu since 2020. So that is my teaching and instructional experience. I've done a number of other positions, a lot of customer service related positions, but this is what I've done as far as education goes. But I really love education, and I'm happy to be here tonight to be able to tell you guys about this really great opportunity and I think a solution to some of the issues that you're going to see and that we are going to show you here tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. And I'd like to introduce my coworker, Miss Kristen Corpus.
Oh, okay. Hi, you guys. So my name is Kristen, and I first started my teaching journey back in 2013, and I did teach at a church, Rivers Edge Church. And then following that, I did go into Chapey College and pursued my degrees in sociology and social and behavioral science. And during that time, I got a job at Tutor Time, which kind of kick-started a lot of my momentum in the teaching and education. So I started as an infant and school age teacher. Soon after, I was able to transfer into Polytechnic University in Pomona to complete my BA in sociology. And also during that time, I was hired on at the Kinder Care Learning Facility to become their school age teacher, as well as also being hired on for the city of Rancho to be an instructor and counselor for their preschool program. A few years later, I did become a life skills instructor. And then when the pandemic came around, I did transition into online teaching here for Gulu Learning Academy and even became a life skills teacher for another company at Vico, which I both presently work for. And then, yeah, that's about me. But next is my other lovely coworker, Mara.
Hello. So my name is Mcdara Morgan, but everyone knows me as Mara, just easier. So it's really nice to see everyone here. Welcome. A bit about my background. I, similar to Ms. Kristen, also started my teaching journey back in 2013, where I was working at a child and development center on a military base. So I was a floater. I got to experience different age groups from preschool up to school age around 11 and 12. And after that journey ended and I moved from Hawaii to California, I became a registered behavior technician where I started working with autistic children. And that's when I also pursued my major at Cal State San Marcos in child and adolescent development and psychological science. But then along the way, I started to find an interest in languages. So then I minored in Spanish and became the tutor at my university for Spanish. And then I also became certified to teach English as a second and foreign language. From that point on, I have transitioned a bit, and I'm now an English teacher with Gulu and also the Spanish teacher. Along that way, I also became a research assistant at UC Irvine just to do more research on the benefits of bilingualism, multilingualism, and learning foreign languages and how it can really benefit other areas besides just communication, right? It's really good for your brain. It has long-term benefits like fighting things like dementia and Alzheimer's, according to many studies. So I love teaching. I love working with the kiddos, but I also love languages. So with 12 Foundations and Gulu Learning Academy, I'm able to combine both of those passions and pay it forward to the students that we work with. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on, Mr. Jacob, can we also bring Miss Anne to introduce herself briefly?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Anne, and I've been working with Gulu since 2016. So I started as working at the after-school program, and also work with the preschoolers, preschooler at Gulu home-based preschool. And then I kind of have experience working with different age group from preschooler, kindergarten, and also elementary school. And then it's what a really great experience working with Gulu Gulu. And then I'm so thankful to be part of the team.
And she just completed software engineering program. Congratulations, Anne.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Anne, and great to have you here with us tonight. So what we're going to start out with is a short video here to kind of give you guys some information about exactly what our program is and kind of just like a brief overview. And then we're going to go into specifics about what we believe are issues with the current educational system, being public schools, private schools, and even homeschooling. All of them have certain issues, as well as benefits, which we'll also discuss. So let's take a look at this overview, and then we're going to jump into the specifics of those issues and how we feel our program is a solution to those issues. All right. Oops, sorry, guys. All righty. So we're looking at what we feel are issues with current educational systems, and we feel that hopefully our program can be a solution to that. So let's take a look at what those issues are. So for those of you that have children that attend public schools, one big issue is large class sizes. So your average teacher to student ratio in the United States is a 1 to 16 ratio. Your average teacher to student ratio at California public elementary schools is 1 to 29. The average instructional time for each student per day is 12 minutes. Essentially, what this means is that students in the public school system, very often, they're not getting a lot of attention because the class size is so large. There's one teacher with that many students. So they don't really receive the intimate attention that they need to succeed when they're facing issues with, if they're falling behind in a class, if they're having challenges. Sometimes they fall further and further behind, even though they say, no child left behind. That's not always necessarily the case. So that's one of the major issues with public schools. Besides that, there is also an issue with bullying and violence at these schools. 28% of students age 8 to 12 have reported being bullied. 46% of public schools reported threat of physical attack without a weapon. It's pretty serious stuff. So these kids in these schools, because they are very large schools with large student bodies, a lot of them are also facing discrimination issues with violence, bullying, really, really tough stuff. And beyond having an impact on their mentality now, those kind of issues can have an effect on a child for years to come. So it really is kind of, it's a big issue with public schools, the way that some children are treated at these schools. And so it causes further and further issues, both academically, socially. So beyond these issues, beyond very large classes, beyond bullying and violence, oh, here's another statistic, sorry. Every 7 minutes, one child is bullied. Every 7 minutes. So just to take a look at how frequent, so this isn't something that's infrequent, this is something that happens on a regular basis. So kids are being bullied, they're in classes where they don't get the attention that they need, and school is not actually free. People think of public school as being free. But if you take a look at this is a study done by the Brookings Institution. Their study found that housing costs tend to be higher in areas where high-scoring schools are located. And Jonathan Rothwell of the Brookings Institution went on to say that it turns out that it's actually very expensive to enroll your children in a high-scoring public school. So if you actually want to go to a public school where your child has the best chance of succeeding, you're going to have to pay more. So you pay more to attend a good school just by living there. So, that's great. So some parents, they believe they're putting money into where they live, they're choosing the right housing location, and they're going to have a good school. But that's not always the case, actually. So if we take a look at some of the local schools in Fremont and Milpitas, a lot of those schools actually have pretty low ratings. So even though there is a high cost of living in that area, it doesn't necessarily equate with good schools. Many of those schools are underperforming, even with those high costs. So they're paying more, but they're not necessarily seeing a benefit in their school. Some of those schools are better. This is not like a blanket statement. Some of those schools are quite good, but many of them, you're still paying a lot and they're not very good quality. But then let's take a look at this. So using the Fremont Unified School District in Fremont, California as the study area, the study estimates the impact of school quality on house prices and finds that a 1 standard deviation increase in the quality of elementary, middle, and high schools significantly increases house prices by 20% for an average priced house. 20%. So what that means is that if there's even a small deviation, 1 standard deviation in the quality of the education, so if that school is just even a little bit better, you're going to be paying 20% more to live near it and to attend it. So essentially, this is a big issue. So even though it's only marginally better as a school, you're paying way more the better the school is, and you're already paying more altogether. So in essence, people are paying more, but they're not always seeing a greater benefit for their children. So it doesn't always equate. So though people think if they're living in a high, an area with a high cost of living, they're going to think that their student will be in a better school and will perform better academically. But that's not always the case. It's not always the case. So there are definitely problems that exist with public schools. So beyond public schools, there are also issues with the private school system. So the private school system has a number of issues within itself that are separate from the public schooling system. There's a lot of pressure. So for example, we actually have a student we've been working with at Gulu who is 4 years old, and her mother wants her to attend a private academy, but she's worried that she's not going to be able to attend and has been working with us so that she can hopefully boost her scores. So this little girl who is little girl who is 4 years old is already dealing with issues. She's already under pressure, and the parents are already under pressure just to get her into the school. Beyond that, the assignments sometimes at these schools, because of the nature of the high pressure system, the assignments themselves can be very difficult, which leads to kids falling behind. Kids can face a very unhappy social emotional experience. There aren't always many life coaches at private schools like there are for public schools, where you usually see like a guidance counselor, that kind of thing. And these are problems. So at these kind of schools, you have issues with depression, and that's never good. I mean, it has a big impact on the happiness and the mentality of a child. So beyond that, in these schools, teachers are not actually required to have credentials in private schools. So you can attend a private school, and that person is just a person capable of teaching. Now, that's not to say that a person can't be capable of teaching without having the proper background. However, when these schools, they're using Common Core standards that have been a teacher has learned how to use the content and to teach those standards in an appropriate manner where the child will be able to learn best. So having credentialed teachers is a good thing. It is a good thing. So it's not to say that that these teachers are bad teachers. However, having a credentialed teacher, someone who has that training, who has the knowledge, who's gone to school and has been prepared for it, is always something good to have. So that's an issue that we face sometimes with private schools, especially in the state of California. Beyond that, because these small schools, these private schools, they're also smaller. They have a smaller student body. In turn, they have a smaller staff. They have a less flexible curriculum because they don't have as many teachers to offer a wide variety of classes. So the curriculum, the schedule is more stringent and restrictive. And in public schools, if a child, say, doesn't have interest in the main field of study, he can elect to study something different. But here we're seeing that students basically have to follow that main course of study, and sometimes they just might not enjoy it. And kids learn more when they actually enjoy something. So that can be a big issue. Not having enough classes or a variety of content to actually keep them interested and to keep them learning. So beyond that, let's take a look at the tuition costs of private schools. One thing, everybody knows they can be very expensive. So they're costly. It's a big thing. For some people, money is a big factor. We all need money. It runs our life. So having to pay a lot of money out of pocket, and sometimes maybe the education that you're paying for doesn't meet your standards, it can be an issue for a parent. So it's a lot of things to consider when a person is choosing the appropriate and correct form of education for their child. So a lot of parents, they turn to homeschooling. They think, well, I will take control, I'll take the reins of my child's future and their education, and I'll do it myself. That's great, and sometimes it definitely works. There are parents who are very capable of being great homeschooling parents. However, it's not for everyone. Some parents have a really, really tough time with it. They have a busy schedule themselves. They don't know the appropriate way to teach a topic sentence, say in English, to a child where they're actually going to understand it and be motivated to learn about it and to practice it. And in turn, because they're always at home, they're not getting much social interaction. Very often, this can run a risk of issues with social development as well. So homeschooling, not only could the student fall behind academically, but they could also run issues, socially, social development, not getting enough interaction with other students. So it's definitely something, it can have its own slew of issues. So the public school system we've seen has issues. The private schooling system, it has issues. Homeschooling can have issues. Everything in life can have issues, and we know this. There's nothing that's perfect. However, those things do also have good features. They have good features. So like for the public schools, they have credentialed teachers. They have more choices of courses. They have great social opportunities. Homeschooling, you can preserve a child's creativity. You can keep family values. You can personalize and individualize the curriculum so that it's something that the child really enjoys. Private schools, they have more with character education. They emphasize academic performance. They have somewhat smaller class sizes, so there is more individualized attention. So these are good features. So what we like and what we are striving to obtain and achieve with this program is to fall right there in the center. That's what we want to be with the 12 foundations. So we're trying to take these good features of these programs and put it into our program while minimizing those negative features that you guys have already heard about. So this is what we're doing with the 12 Foundations program and what you guys are here to learn about tonight. So the 12 Foundations education is a one-stop shop. Starts up at 9 a.m. It goes till 6 p.m. We work with K12, which is ran through the California Virtual Academies. We are also working with Becca, who offers a Christian faith-based curriculum for parents and families who might choose that. It's a choice, so parents can either choose the K12 system, or if they would prefer, they can choose the Becca system if it's in line with their family's values. So this is our program and what we're trying to do here. And the real big benefit of this is that you have the credentialed teachers of the public school, and we have our staff members at Gulu who are also experienced teachers. Some of them have education majors. Myself, you've heard my background earlier. I help out with the after school enrichment. So we have our whole basis of our staff members and their skill set, as well as the credentialed teachers that we're working with there. So we bring both the value of an intimate private setting where we can address and provide quality education on a small scale, on a 1-to-7 ratio, and at the same time we can make sure that they're learning from credentialed teachers and that they're getting and meeting the Common Core standards that we want them to achieve. So this is our solution. It's the 12 Foundations Education Program. Our ratio is 1-to-7. By doing that, it allows us to have more one-on-one attention with each student. We can hopefully build better social interactions and interpersonal relationships, since those students will be working with a smaller group. They're going to learn how to be, how to truly interact with people, the interworkings of social, social discipline. We can provide instant guiding and coaching, and we truly respect individuality, and we encourage creativity, which is a big thing. So we're trying to bring, some of that you see in the homeschool, the values, those kind of things, into our program. So what it is that we work with the California Virtual Academies, like we mentioned, which is K12, as well as Becca. Provides experienced and California credentialed teachers. You can contact them during the day. They have over 1 million students. They have government funding. So they're both programs that have tried, tested materials and a curriculum that has been, there's been a lot of thought and a lot of time put into it to provide a good quality education. So what this allows us to do here at Gulu is that we can combine the flexibility of online learning. So we can take those online tools, we can use games, interactive slideshows, different things. We can have kids working with digital technologies, different things like that. We take that flexibility and we put it with the brick and mortar environment. So they're on our campus, they're learning with other students, they're working with teachers, but they're building up their technology skills. They're developing, so many different things. They're learning digital technologies, and they're getting prepared for a very quickly moving future. It's always moving fast when it comes to technology. And so hopefully by using this form of education, they're going to get inundated with the use of technology, and it's going to help to prepare them for that. It also allows for a flexible learning plan, and they can learn from anywhere at any time. If they need additional help, they can pop on their computer. So it's really, really good stuff. So this is what we're doing there. And let's take a look at this. So one thing we mentioned too with the 12 foundations, or with, with private schools, is that they can be very expensive. And what we're trying to do with the 12 Foundations School is we're trying to make it affordable. You know, we want to be able to bring this program to as many people as possible. We want to bring them this benefit. So we offer discounts, but even more so than that, we can actually offer tuition assistance. So we offer a subsidized program for low-income families to assist them in providing the best future possible for their children. So they have to meet a couple basic requirements. And if they do, then we can help them into this program. And the reason we're doing that is because, you know, some people in life struggle. Some people don't have it easy. So, and they come from, you know, a lower socioeconomic standing. And we want to be able to help those people and their children succeed in the future. Because we actually care. That's the thing with Gulu Gulu. We're a small school and we care about our students. So we want to actually help them succeed. We want to see them grow in the future and have a promising future. So we're able to, this is really something nice that we're proud of and happy to be doing. So if you take a look at our cost versus other schools, this is a comparison of charges. You can see that public schools, if you add up different factors, you're still paying for them. Private schools on average, you're looking at $25,000. Our program falls right in the middle, and that's what we want. We're trying to provide a high quality, personalized, private school-like education, but at a more reasonable rate with all of these additional features that we've already mentioned. So that's what we're shooting for here. And our curriculum, we have a really, really cool curriculum. We're using Abeka, which has a Christian curriculum. Then there's K12, which is like a standard Common Core curriculum. K12, as you can see here, is highly awarded. So it's a very good system. It's been tried and trusted since 2000. You can see here, bunch of different people that have been using it that are happy with it. And I'm not going to say it's perfect. Nothing is perfect. But the thing with something like this, because they have lots of funding, it's a big organization, it's one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, what that means and translates to is that they're always improving. So even just in the time that I've worked with K12, I've seen their online system, to me, I've seen it improve. So I think it's really good stuff to be partnering with someone like this. And we're also working with Abeka. So Abeka has been around since 1985. They provided Christian learning materials. And in 2017, they transitioned into an online learning platform. And what they're about is they provide good quality education, amazing education for pre-K through grade 12, and based upon biblical values. And what they emphasize at Abeka is intellectual, moral, and spiritual growth. And you can see here, 949 reviews on their website. A lot of people that have been very happy with this learning platform. And we're very happy to also have this option for any family that joins us that is more inclined to follow a spiritually based curriculum. So if you look here, K12 is actually the best overall rated homeschool program in 2021. There's a bunch of other programs, but overall, it was rated the highest. So it's not bad. And for anyone who might have doubts about the quality of online education, here is Stanford Online High School. You can see that they are the best online high school in California, but also they're the third out of 928 of the best high schools for STEM in California. Not best online, best high school. So you can have an online program that can achieve great things, and you can have students that achieve great things, as you can see right here. High average SAT scores, high average ACT scores. So online education is definitely possible. And here at Gulu Gulu, a little bit more about our curriculum. We have all kinds of classes. This is what's so cool, is that with our staff, with our combined online resources, we've been able to put together a really broad curriculum. We've got math, coding, different languages, art, music. We do lots of different stuff, languages, Mandarin, Spanish. So your child actually has access, a child that attends our program actually has access to a wide variety of courses, and I would argue a greater variety than most schools actually see. So it's pretty neat. I mean, I'd never, Zumba dance, roller skating, a lot of different stuff, practical skills. That's another thing that at our school that we try to emphasize is practical skills that students can actually take and they can use in a real world setting. And this is us since 2010. We've done a lot of programs, roller skating. Our leprechaun trap contest last year was really fun, and it's been a really nice road. And you can see we've been here and we've done tons of events. This Halloween we had a huge Halloween event, so we do a lot, and we're happy to be doing that for the community. So our philosophy is that we believe spiritual growth and healthy interpersonal relationships make a solid foundation for academic achievement, social skills, and creative expression. We're here to help students reach their full potential through our comprehensive programs. So the path forward with us. We are enrolling kindergarten through 6th grade for 2022 to 2023. And as you've heard, we partner with K12 and Becca. So I'm going to pass this over to Miss Mara, who's going to talk to you guys about what a standard school day, that kind of thing, might look like at the school. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob.
Thank you.
So hello, everyone. I'm Miss Mara, and just a little glance, right? A preview of what a typical day in the 12 Foundations program will look like. So drop off, arrival between 8:30 and 9. And you can see here, if you look at their days, we try to alternate. Well, we don't try, we do. We alternate between screen time and not screen time, right? Because that seems to be a concern, which is very understanding, right? We don't want our children sitting in front of a computer the entire day, and they don't. That's not what's happening with the 12 Foundations program. So when we take a closer look here, you can see that after arrival, they do start with a class, and then after they have a recess. After recess, they go back to another class, which is music, handwriting, art. After that is lunch. Then they have another class, logic, math, young authors, reading and rest, right? So again, away from the screen. Then they get to go to, a class of their choice like Spanish, reading, coding, and then Chinese language, character building. So we do balance their time on the screen and off. And Ms. Kieran has a very great policy where she does not allow them to have more than 55 consecutive minutes of screen time, right? Because we do want to protect their eyes and make sure that they don't get bored or antsy, because nobody wants to sit in front of the computer all day. And then, of course, pickup, you see dismissal, that day ends at 6 p.m. So usually between 5:45 and 6 is when their day would end. Okay, Mr. Jacob, can you go to the next one, please? Thank you. Mm-hmm. So here, right, we did want to mention that 70% of our online classes have workbooks for an offline option and the opportunity to rest the eyes. So even if maybe alternating between 55 minutes of screen time and then off is not enough, right? If you prefer, 70% of our classes have workbooks, meaning that they don't have to be online for many of those classes, right? That's more than 50%, more than half. And Mr. Jacob, can you click again for me, please? 2 times. Thank you. So another way for addressing the screen time concerns, we hear a lot about blue light eye damage. So before I go into the solutions, I'd like to give you guys just a little bit of background knowledge about what is blue light, right? So all digital devices, cell phones, televisions, computer monitors, they emit something called a blue light, which is like a low wavelength, high energy light. And it does have the potential to damage your eyes, but over a long period of time. And there are actually natural sources of blue light. The sun emits blue light. But the concern with digital devices, right, is that the children are sitting so close and for an extended period of time. So, and then of course, children are a particular concern because their eyes are still developing, right? They're in that stage of development where they could be potentially at a higher risk. Well, first, there are some pros though. So blue light in and of itself is not all bad. It can boost alertness and mood. It's been shown to support cognitive functioning and memory, and it also helps to regulate the body's natural sleep cycle. But however, overexposure, right, and digital eye strain is definitely a concern. So we do have ways to protect against that. And as you can see here, the first one is to invest in computer glasses if you are very concerned. Their yellow tinted lenses can block harmful blue light and minimize the digital strain that is caused on the eyes. And then the second one is still computer glasses, but with anti-reflective lenses. So you can look for computer glasses that have these lenses in addition to that yellow tint. And the coating with this added layer provides comfort and protection by shielding against the blue light that's reflected on both sides of the lenses. And then the third, which is actually the cheapest option, is a screen filter. So this is an easy way to help limit exposure to that digital blue light just by applying a special screen filter to the front of the device, whether it's a tablet, a laptop, a cell phone, right, whatever the students are using. So they are cheaper options, they're inexpensive, and they absorb most of the light. And then if students don't want to wear something on their face because they're not used to it, right, it also helps with that as well. Okay, Mr. Jacob, we're ready for the next. All right, so then we talk about our language programs. So we offer, right, Chinese, I believe we offer Mandarin and Cantonese, we offer Spanish, and then of course we have coding, which is typically seen as like technology, which it is, but it's also a language in and of itself, right? Programming and having to memorize those codes. So the program comes with Chinese immersion, right? 8 Chinese sessions, and it can also come with 2 Spanish sessions if the children like. And a positive about this is that when you speak English, Mandarin, and Spanish, you're automatically able to communicate with 2 billion people, right? Because these are the most spoken languages. Okay, Mr. Jacob, thank you very much. And so now we come to why should my child learn Spanish or any other language for that matter? Because I know most of our students are already bilingual, right? They speak English. Many of them speak Cantonese or Mandarin at home. And that can be a concern, right? Some parents think, well, I don't want my child to have to learn another language. They already are learning so much. What if it confuses them? Or also, like, if you don't speak Spanish yourself or one of these languages, that could be a concern, right? How can I help my child develop further if I don't speak that language? Well, studies have shown that learning a new language has several benefits, right? Outside from just communicating. And the earlier one starts, the better, right? So that's why they're really at that prime age of development where their little brains are just ready to absorb everything. So particularly Spanish is very valuable. It's the 4th most spoken language in the world and the 2nd in the United States specifically, which is, I believe, where most of you guys live. And in California, it is very widely spoken, right? It's part of the culture of California as well. More so when you get to the South, but still very relevant within and throughout the United States. So there are approximately 534 million speakers of Spanish worldwide and 42 million in the US alone. So learning Spanish will provide many opportunities for your child in the future, such as career opportunities, social opportunities, and just learning a new language in general has its own benefits. So now we're going to take a look at 10 benefits of learning a new language, regardless of what it is. And Mr. Jacob, could you please click for me? Thank you very much. Right, so 10 benefits of learning a new language, whether it's Chinese Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, German, Russian, French, right? It boosts your brain power, right? Studies have shown that it really boosts your brain power. It has cognitive benefits. It improves memory, right? And studies have also shown that it combats neurodegenerative diseases like dementia, Alzheimer's, way down the line, right? So that's why I said the earlier you start, really the better. It sharpens the mind. It enhances decision-making. And your first language is actually improved. So there is this misconception that if your child learns a 2nd or 3rd or 4th language, it might interfere with their ability to speak those other languages, or it might confuse them. But that's false. So research does not support that. Sometimes with all the extra words in their mind, it could be, harder for them to switch between codes, right? Code switching, as we call it, because they're going from one language to another. But it actually strengthens their first language, and things like grammar start to make more sense because they have to learn that in another language. It improves their academic performance. It's been shown to support other areas of studies like mathematics, science, English, of course, right? And it increases networking skills. So what do we mean by networking? Of course, we mean socializing, right? But also it gives them the opportunity to speak with people that they otherwise would not have the ability to speak with. So that's always a great thing. It provides better career choices, right? So thinking further down the line to their future, this is going to open up a world of opportunities for them, career-wise, traveling opportunities, and they will get paid more, right? So employers like it when their employees can speak more than one language, because then they can serve the company or wherever they're working in a greater way. They can serve their community more. And then it also enhances ability to multitask, right? As I said, that code switching, going in between different languages. And it keeps the mind young and active, right? Because language learning is an ongoing process. It never stops. I think we can all agree that even as adults, every day, whatever your native language is, you're probably still seeing words that maybe you don't know. Even I'm a native English speaker, and sometimes I read books or I read articles and I'm like, hey, what's that word, right? So we can use context to come to that meaning, or sometimes we just have to look it up. But it keeps our minds young and active, and the learning process continues throughout life. Okay, Mr. Jacob, ready? Okay, and now I would like to introduce my coworker, Miss Kristen. Hello, Miss Kristen. Please take the stage.
Hi, thank you, thank you. Okay, so for many of us, we are all familiar with private school, homeschooling, and the public school learning system. And some of us might even contemplated going or choosing one of these methods for learning. But a few common and growing concerns over the past few years amidst the pandemic has been over social and emotional development, as well as attaining social connections, emotional well-being, and the access to extracurricular activities. So we are going to take a look at the data here that I prepared for you guys today. So this research was taken by the Pew Research Center, and this utilized 10,332 respondents. That is how many people had taken this survey. And 47% of parents of children who are of preschool age or younger say that they are more worried now than before the outbreak about their children falling behind in developing social skills. Smaller shares say that more are concerned now than before about their young children falling behind in developing their language, others in physical or motor skills. So these are real life concerns. And then next slide, please. Also, majority of parents of K-12 students say that compared with before the coronavirus outbreak, they're more concerned about each of the following for their children. One, as we had spoken about, screen time. Next, maintaining social connections and friendships because of the limited amount of interaction that they have on their day-to-day. Also, their emotional well-being. Are they feeling happy? Are they feeling depressed? Are they feeling lonely? And also having access to extracurricular activities. Next. So I would definitely like to give and offer you guys, as well as the rest of us here at Gulu, a hybrid model of our 12 Foundations program, because it takes, next slide, click 2 times. It takes the technology and the enriched academics, and also the controlled and smaller size classroom so that they may be able to still socialize. However, it is a smaller yet controllable environment. Next slide, please. So then we hit a question. Does a bigger environment guarantee learning of social skills? Not entirely. In fact, it cannot be promised that they're going to learn any good social skills. In fact, they might even learn poor social skills. So in a bigger environment, it is less controllable and can warrant bad social behavior and or adopting bad social behavior from others. We each come from different backgrounds. Click 2 times. And yeah, we each come from different backgrounds and from different families with different attitudes and different habits, which has good, but also can have bad. With a smaller setting, however, this will be more controllable and the students can easily be redirected and taught proper social skills at that moment rather than later after the habit has been developed and ingrained. Next slide, please. So, our 12 foundations, we are equipped with teachers such as myself and others to assist the students to be taught proper social skills and emotional skills. Students are not only taught academics, but life values as well. And they are also taught virtues, important virtues, so that they may become happy and successful individuals. So with our 12 Foundations program, we incorporate all of the benefits of all the 3 learning systems so that they may interact. They may learn life skills so that they may have opportunities to interact with one another. So that is just a great combination of all the positives that we can provide for our students. And also, there is age mixing within our program. So click a whole bunch of times, please. So we have things such as leadership and respect, maturity, empathy, collaboration, patience, understanding, responsibility for those students who are integrating in ages, because the older ones will understand and begin to learn and take all of these aspects. They will naturally develop, and then the teachers will be there to assist them as well. Next slide. For our program as well, we will be teaching 4 character building sessions every week. This includes trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship, and most importantly, and something that we are very, very proud of, next slide, is something called the fruits of the spirit, where we like to show our students how to be gentle and kind, have love and patience and faithfulness, self-control, generosity and joy, and also peace within themselves. So this is something that we absolutely are very, very proud and excited to give to our students every single day. Next slide. So with all that being said, we are very, very happy to have all of you parents here, and we'd like to discuss the registration process for those who I'm sure are excited about registering. So here it goes. So the first thing is that we submit a completed registration form. And the way to get to that is either you message us on our Facebook page or on our website. Following that, we would schedule an interview session. And after that interview, students who are selected will be contacted to sign up for either K12 or the ABECA curriculum. Once again, you guys have a choice, and that will be happening in April. Orientation for 12 Foundations will follow, and then orientation for K12 in July, and then school will begin at the end of August. And so thank you everyone for tonight, and then we'll take it to Ms. Karen.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for the team who did this wonderful presentation. You get everything that I want to say to present it to all the parents tonight. So for me, I am parents too, and we also have parents who joined tonight from 12 Foundations program. So we want to see our children's contents in the future, and they will be motivated, fully prepared, and excelling at their full potential. Before we end the webinar tonight, I would love to introduce a couple of our parents, if they can tell us about how they feel about the program for so far, and give us a honest we feel, and let us to know if there's anything that we can improve. We care about our student, and we would love to hear about any review from any aspect. So we can able to know if this is a good program to recommend. Please also let us know too. Yeah, can I invite Jane to tell us about how you feel?
Hey,
Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for
Hi.
being with us.
Thanks.
Hi. So I've been enrolling Elise in this program since last August, and I first heard about this program through some online classes that my daughter has been taking with Mr. Jacob and Miss Amanda on phonics. That was during the pandemic, and I was looking for some alternative to a public school because I heard a lot of nightmares, right? Like you got to drop off at 11 and pick up at 2. Obviously, that just would never work for working parents. I'm a full-time working mom, and my husband works as well. So we just needed something that's a full day program. So it's kind of perfectly convenient for me to have this kind of program. You know, it combines the public school curriculum with accredited teachers, and also it's a combination between daycare, after school, and a real curriculum. So
thanks for choosing us.
Yeah. Thank you. But I think what I want to say is that what I really appreciate is the teachers here are just so loving and caring. Miss Karen is a great friend, and I have Miss Amy. We're all like a little family, right? We all hang out on the weekends. I know what kind of people they are, and I feel safe. Like safety is the top priority for me, right? In terms of virus prevention, and also just your kids are with good people. That is really important. I also know a lot of parents that are in the public school system, and they're always constantly fighting with the school board, the school superintendent, and that's a fight that you don't want to get into, because they won't listen, and it takes a lot of politics. It's very taxing, and definitely Gulu would listen. I remember I attended this webinar last year, and I asked, you know what, I have to get my kid enrolled in a piano lesson, and I don't have time to practice piano with her. And the next time I visited the school, there was a piano in the school, and Miss Karen said, we can partner with the plaza had 2 piano classes, right? Classrooms. So she said we could partner with those teachers, with those piano schools, to accommodate her piano practice needs. So I was really happy about that. She actually does attend one of the piano schools, and the teacher from that piano school just comes to Gulu and walks her over. So it's like I could be pretty much hands off. Yeah, so for me, it's like super convenient, and just being a Buddhist myself, I know the importance of the virtues. It's a guidance that we don't learn at schools, at public schools especially, and I really hope that the teachings about the virtues of how to be a good person could, that is going to be a huge strength for the Gulu program, and I hope you guys can practice that every single day.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yes. So that's why we keep the class size to be small. That is the only way we can keep practicing, when otherwise it's basically the environmental aspect will not allow us to do that if it's too much students.
Yep, I remember Elise was having some issues with classmates and teachers being I think she was kind of rude to teachers, and Miss Karen and Miss Amy, we had like a teacher's parents conference and really kind of talk through the problems. And it took maybe a couple days for Elise to turn around and kind of realize, oh wow, I did something wrong. And she's become, I think she's really learned a lot through that process, and that's something that you don't get from public schools. So I really appreciate that guidance.
Yeah, and thank you for also cooperating with us too. Without the parenting parts to work
Yeah.
together, it won't be success.
I
Yeah.
took it seriously when you gave us that paperwork saying like the character problems that we have to focus on. So we had a family meeting about it too.
Thank you. We have staff meeting every week. So we do back and forth talk about each student's progress as well as their behavior issues or emotional support that we can offer. So we try in order to reach that, like for adjusting the learning attitude and then the attitude toward the teachers. We actually try a subtle way, and then we try to have it's get to a couple of months to really get to parents to take it seriously. So yeah, so it's a process of learning, and for the student behavior to adjust, it take time. And I'm glad, this is my way to advocate how education should be, and also advocate for what the student need to deserve to have educations. It need me to step out of comfort zone. It need me a lot of courage on doing that, but for our next generations, it worth it. So yeah, so it really worth it. And also working toward the long way to go later on, we want to work with especially like student might not able to afford to have quality education program. And I think we are going to be holding together with caring people, and this is the team it is. Yeah, they have been going with me every week. So yeah, so I'm very grateful.
Miss
Yeah.
Karen, can you talk a little bit more about the affordable, like if parents can't afford to go to your school, right? Like, is there any assistance?
Yes, there's a substitute government program that I actually have been partnering with them for the preschool parts and the after school parts. So I know that after school and preschool that I could get funding for those people who need it. And now I find out that even though for K12, they could able to fund partial of it. So they were able to afford it with very affordable tuition that way. And then on the side, we are in the progress of applying nonprofits. So once we become a nonprofit school, we're able to open a lot of grants for people who different like low income families but we need to go through a filter system though. Like we will go through an assessment. So the assessment is not like we're doing like at the private school, they testing their academic, the readiness skill and math skill. We're actually looking for how the parents will be seeing how they support social emotional aspects. And if the student, we have a play date together and see how they get along together and see. We want to see if parents care about how they make friends. So that is our assessment. So assessment for if we are the family who actually will be willing to cooperate. And besides that, we're also adding a family class together because we're not able to do homeschooling, like having all the working parents to join the classroom and then do the homeschooling, like the benefit from homeschooling. You can bond with your students and your child, you grow with them, but we're doing family class together. So yeah, I'm thinking about like a martial arts that we actually participate together every Saturday or maybe Sunday afternoon. So from that way, so the coach will also able to coach the family from the discipline aspect. So this is what we like the next year that we were going to add addition to it in terms of tuition support and family education supports. Yep. And then also I want to in like so Jane, thank you for being with us and also share your review for us.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so
very
much.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So beside that, I want to also get a review from the in-person education coach, Miss Anne. Miss Anne has been with us for 6 years, 7 years now. So and then now this year is being with the 12 foundation students. How do you feel about how, the entire program? It runs from morning 8:30 you come to class, 8:45 is the first first section to meet during the whole day. Tell us about from the teacher perspective, how do you feel?
From my perspective, I feel like K12 give me more flexibility to work with the student, because I can modify the program to make it more suitable to what the student need. For example, Elise. So I have Elise and Nina in my class, right? But their needs are different. Like for example, Elise enjoy break between the activity. So I will give her do one activity, take break 5 or 10 minute break, and do the next one. That is her need. So I would try to modify to her need. But Nina is a little bit different. So she more focusing in the class in the morning time. So she can work better in the morning time versus in the afternoon. She told her not really focusing at all. So that it gave me the flexibility, to modify the program toward to help the student. Also, is even though it's an online program, but we have a lot of tools, and then a workbook, the offline workbook, so we can just substitute that with the computer time. So actually, a lot some of the lessons, so they have a few lessons, right? But what they do need is just phonic, or learn about language, vocabulary, or math. So they don't really need few online lesson. But other than that, so I substitute with the workbook, and then also print activity for them to do. So the screen time will not that much. Also, they learn some art, music, history, science. So those activity, I will usually read the lesson and then work together with them, not let them just watch the video and then have to do it again. Yeah. So it gave me a lot of flexibility. Yeah. It's a really good program. I think academically it's a really good program. Also, the teachers, K12 teacher, they're very supportive, always answer the question. So that's really good.
And they do have assessment too, right?
Yeah, they do have assessment. They will place that at the beginning they will have assessment to place your student into different level, and also they just do assessment again. I think they just do 2 or 3 weeks ago.
How about tell us about our lunchtime?
Our lunchtime, so because we are close to the park, so we'll have lunch about 1 hour lunch break. So usually we'll take them to the park, and then we'll eat about 45 minutes, and then they will have about 15 minutes to enjoy the park time. They really like it. They really love to go to the park every day.
Nature walk, yeah.
Yeah.
And also they have exercise time there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much. All right, I think we are pretty much done. The entire program, we have been telling so much about it, and it's a wonderful program. I really love it. And I just can, look forward to even practice to be better next year too. I encourage any of the students, parents who are looking for that, the best education for your student, to inquire about the program. and hopefully that we will be seeing your family pretty soon. Right? Thank you so much. Yeah, and then thank you for being with me for preparing all the slide, all the presentation. Maybe we had sleepless nights, but we did it.
You did.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you everyone once again from us, the Gulu team, and joining us tonight and hearing about our 12 Foundations program, our hybrid but yet wonderful program that Miss Karen did think up and put together, and we are just throwing the show. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you guys again next week. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.